Hey, what's going on, dudes and dudettes? This is Pip Surfer with another daily update for the Cowabunga system. Today's Thursday, January 15th, 2009, and I hope you all had a great trading day today. I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into today's update. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 4-hour chart for the cable. And you can see we've had a nice downtrend here. And the last trend change candle was back on the 11th. And since then, we haven't had any new trend change candles. So as for today's action, we only look for short trades, as indicated by the previous trend change candle back on the 11th. So only looking for short trades today. And now I can just jump right into my 15-minute chart. And I'll move it just before midnight. Before I start trading, though, I want to take a look at my news events for the day. You can go to babypips.com, click on this Tools tab. And remember, we're looking for news that affects either the sterling or the dollar. And here you can see at 8:30, U.S. had PPI and initial claims. And at 10 is the Philly Fed Index. And I know it's an orange flag here, not a red flag, but I do consider the Philly Fed Index one of the more important news events to watch out for. So I marked it as a news event to be on the lookout for, and that was on my post from yesterday, so hopefully you noted that one as well. Okay, now I'm at my 15-minute chart. It's just before midnight. Remember, we're only looking for short trades, and my news is at 8:30 and 10 a.m. Eastern time. So now I can begin to move the chart forward one candle at a time. You can see we have a crossover here at 3:45 a.m. Now we just take a look at our indicators. RSI is below 50, stochastics trending down, and it's really hard to tell here because what happened on the previous candle is MACD actually just met at 0, and then on our crossover candle it went to negative. So this would still count as a signal because 0 is neither negative or positive, so it's still a valid signal. That happens very rarely, but it happened today. So for future reference, make note that if your MACD goes from 0 to negative, that's okay for a short trade, or if it goes from 0 to positive, that's okay for a long trade. So this is a fine entry. Closes at 45.87. Our stops at the most recent swing high at 46.48, and our target's at 45.50. And so we're not near any news events, so we can just move forward. You can see that we were stopped out at 4:30, and unfortunately that trade was a loser, but we just brushed that aside and continue to move forward. Here we get a crossover right away. RSI is below 50, however stochastics hasn't crossed down, and MACD was already negative from the candle before, so this is an invalid signal, so you would not enter here. And then we can just continue to watch, and here we get another crossover at 6:15. RSI is below 50. Stochastics is trending down this time, but MACD was still negative from the candle before, so still no entry here. And we just continue to move forward again. And you can see what these indicators do is that they're keeping out of this whipsaw. They're keeping us out of these whipsaw movements, and that's a good thing. We don't want to get caught up in all of this. And at 7:30 a.m. we have a crossover. RSI is below 50. Now stochastics again still hasn't crossed over, so technically it's still trending up. And again, MACD is at 0, but from this time it was negative, went to 0, and is negative again. So this would be an invalid trade. Remember, the whole point of the MACD is for us to catch a trade right when it's going in the momentum of the direction that we're trading. And when your MACD is already negative and you're looking for a short trade, that indicates to us that we were a little late, we didn't get in right away, and so we'll just wait on for another trade, another signal. So this is not a good signal, and I would not enter it. And then I'll just continue to move forward. Again, more very crazy movement going on here. And I'll just continue to go forward. Here's a crossover at 9:30. Now this time indicators do line up. RSI is below 50, stochastics trending down. MACD went from positive to negative, so that's a valid entry. However, if you remember, we have news at 10 a.m. and by the time this candle closes, it's 9:45, which only gives us 15 minutes for a trade. So that doesn't really give you much chance for success. So I would avoid entering those kind of trades because it's right before a news event. So I did not enter that one. But if you did happen to enter, I believe it would have been a winner. So, but that's just my recommendation, to stay out of trades that happen before news candles. So you can see we had one trade with one loss, and then we had other possible signals, but because of the Cowabunga system, it filtered us out of these whipsaws. And today was a crazy day to trade. So hopefully you stuck to the rules and were saved a bunch of times. But if you have any questions, again, ask on the blog. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And until then, I hope you all have a great day. Cowabunga, dudes.